Okay, so welcome everybody. So glad to see you here. A lot has been going on, so I'm delighted to touch base with everyone. Before we started recording, Lee was telling us about the fire truck that they have acquired that they'll be shipping to Ukraine. So Lee, you said that you talked to two fire chiefs and they're already involved in efforts?
They went with me to Ukraine. We were in the Cherkasy area. We visited either 8 or 10 fire departments. Also signed an accord with the fire chief of the entire region
Wow.
for a accord of cooperation and supplying things, which really opened the door for us to move ahead. And so after within a couple of weeks after we had gotten back from Ukraine, there was another fire department that donated a truck, and then there was a local cable station that did an interview, and so that gave us a lot of credibility. So we've taken possession of the truck, and so what we'll be doing with the truck is we will be uh, going through it, making sure everything's operational, probably collect some potential spare parts that might be needed in years to come, like gaskets for the pumps, just incidental things that wear out, so that that's not an issue for them for quite a few years. It's a 1991 truck. It has less than 30,000 miles on it.
Wow.
The nice thing is for Ukraine, it doesn't have many electronics on it. That's what's nice about these older trucks, is that the newer ones, of course, are much more expensive and are still in operation, but the older ones are more mechanically oriented and and the thing is that the companies that made this thing in 30 years ago are still in operation, at least so that if there are parts that can be procured, and since it's a Ford, that's easy to get parts for the engine. It's a diesel. So what we'll do is get it fully operational, then make arrangements to have it sent, which might take, we got to do some fundraising for that. And then what we'll do is we're going to send a couple of firefighters to Ukraine to coincide with the truck's arrival, because one of the things that we have concern about is that this truck is much more powerful than what they're accustomed to.
Sure.
And so consequently, there's operational issues that need to be addressed, but there's also safety issues that it's going to be very, very hard for them. It's kind of like sending, this is going to be like sending a Christmas package, and you're going to open it up and use it right away, which I understand fully.
Yeah.
I really do. But at the same time, we're going to say, please wait till we get there. We need to do training with people so that when it becomes operational in a department, that people know how it works, what's the best use of it, safety concerns, because to me, the worst thing that can happen is that we send a truck, somebody gets overexcited about it, they take it out and don't realize that this is much more powerful than they're accustomed to, and someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
That would be awful. So I appreciate that I have some professionals working with me on this, because I'm certainly learning as I go along.
Yeah. And when so you went over to Ukraine and were visiting with the chiefs and with the fire departments and things. That's a little bit different than what you've done in the past, isn't it? So how did you end up in the fire department area?
Well, I've been sending fire protection equipment for quite a few years. This is the uniforms, boots, helmets, hoses, things like that. But I was concerned that that they didn't fully understand how things operated, and so in conversations which actually span back over several years, uh, talking to some fire chiefs who were very interested in what was going on, we decided to go, and in the meantime made some strategic relationships in Ukraine, in the Cherkasy region, which enabled us to gain access to a lot of fire departments. We visited very rural, very simple departments to very urban and very sophisticated ones. And the idea was for us to learn, because again, that becomes for me the big mystery of sending things.
Sure.
That's easy to send things. I mean, that's easy. Collect things, send it. But the issue is, okay, are we sending the right things?
Mm.
And the second thing is, are the recipients able to utilize what is sent? This is not intended to be in any way disrespectful or to not be derogatory toward our Ukrainian counterparts, but you just recognize, they have primarily equipment which was built in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
It's older. It has lower pressure on everything, and for them this will be a significant step ahead.
Right.
And so, but the good thing is, I mean, long range, having now established some, and I've been building on this for the last several years, building a number of relationships with a number of fire chiefs in the area. And in Minnesota, things are very decentralized in terms of organization. We don't have a state head of the fire departments. I mean, things are organized regionally. They're kind of influenced democratically, and so it's a harder network to engage in. But nonetheless, it'll be interesting now that this has opened up. I put these two fire chiefs in charge of the procurement and let them do all those kinds of things, and I'm needing to settle back into the again, the logistical thing of getting up from here to there. We will be concentrating in Cherkasy, which is geographically in the center of the country, but also trying to build up, those fire departments and concentrate there. Because interestingly enough, last week I had a conversation with somebody from another region, and he said, "I got the cash, I want the truck." Well, it's I'm going to move more cautiously than that, because I just don't want to send things without the support needed so that it's used effectively.
Sure.
And it's used safely. I mean, I'm more concerned about the safety issues than anything else, because most of the people we end up working with are volunteers. The training is very uneven. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to long range, standardized training, level things out for them, train trainers, help to, in a sense, shift the orientation from the post-Soviet styles to what Americans do. Ultimately, they of course have to decide what route they wish to go. We can't, we're not here to impose anything, but what we want to do is to communicate best practices so that they can be more effective in what they do. Because in a conversation I had last week with the bishop of the Pentecostal churches in a region that the name escapes me. He's simply saying that in his particular region, they hit a situation in which a missile will come in, and then fires get started, fire departments show up, and then other missiles come because they know that now they can take out some of those strategic services as well. So again, it's all helpful information for me as I learn what is the situation on the ground. How can we be of help? How to avoid, in a sense, kind of the classical missionary fault of when helping hurts. In other words, you think you're doing a good thing when you realize you're really not listening to people.
Yeah.
And so that was our intent when we went. Was we did some training, we did some vehicle extrication, and then also first rescue extraction and removal of injured parties from automobiles. But the whole purpose really was, that was kind of a demonstration. But what we wanted to do was to say, we need to understand.
Yeah.
We need to understand what are your needs. because there's no need for us to impose things arbitrarily, because that just creates its own, social barriers. It's counterproductive.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I'm excited for your next steps. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Next
Oksana,
chapter.
yes, next chapter for sure. Oksana, it's so good to see you here. How are you? You available? There you are.
Hello. Yes, yes. I'm so happy to finally sit and listen and just be at them in a meeting. I'm so happy, proud about it. Well, I'll be leaving in like 10 minutes the house because I have to pick up the older kid. Right now I'm in Warsaw. We have moved with kids here. So you have, just for you to know that, there is some contact here as well right now, permanently, probably, hopefully, yes, because we came back here for the older kid to visit Ukrainian schools. She really wanted to go to Ukrainian school, and I'm too wanted her to go. So we are here now.
Okay.
And I'm happy to hear about fire trucks because we are also working. Mama Planetary direct actually helps the service, the national security services, but we are helping them with demining efforts. And this year, just from May till now, we have developed a new little robot that we were planning to develop because like demining machines are very expensive. We couldn't just afford something like this, and donation process for this will take just long time since we're small. But whatever we managed to collect, we decided to make our own robot with those money that we had. I don't have it yet, like in pictures or in videos. It's confidential until it's finished, until it's on the ground. So like this, I don't know, these days, these weeks, they supposed to the security service supposed to take this demining robot and take it into the field to try it and kind of confirm it to us that yes, they received it from us. I'm really proud about it because we kind of developed it from scratch on our own. And I hope it will serve Ukraine, this model that they can develop more of these, because we don't have one, but it doesn't cover all the necessities. And I've taken several people who needed like from national security services, and I've taken several engineers, put them together. They explained the need. The other ones kind of written down, and they made this robot alive. It kind of covers everything what they need, because even the one automatic robot from US, which cost $100,000, did not cope with all the tasks because it was getting stuck into the grass. We have very tall grass in those regions where nobody is like doing anything right now, but the army has left and they left a lot of mines, so the grass is super tall. And that's why those robots just couldn't manage. And they asked us the parameters which would be bigger, so it can press the grass and move inside and just gonna do its work. So hopefully we're gonna save the lives of the guys so they didn't have to go and do it manually.
Wow.
Because the automatic machines are they cost 1 million minimum, and we need 60 of them for the country. At the moment we have 18, I believe, or something, like not more than 18. So there is a lack of them, and guys have to still go and do the manual work on them, and which is every time is a risk.
Sure.
So that's the news on our side.
That's big news.
Well, positive ones. They're not that big, but they're positive ones.
Yes. There is nothing that is going to stop you when you're trying to tackle a problem. That is for sure. You have shown that time and again. So yeah, if you can't buy a robot, then just develop your own.
Yes, exactly. Cheaper one. and eventually it's better. It's better because it's developed directly for the people who are doing it. Like we have taken the guy who is doing it every day, and he's losing his people there. And he just exactly asked exactly asked for their, dimensions that and tasks that it has to complete. And that's exactly what we did. Hopefully it's going to work and not. And because it's cheaper, it's good because when they go in, of course they will explode. There will be accidents where it gets explode, and if something explodes that it costs $100,000 and something which costs $15-20, that's of course the less cost. Same like with drones and everything. They want to make it as cheap the cheaper the better.
Wow, that's awesome. So is that entirely where you're focused right now, is demining versus planting trees and some of the other projects that you had going? No. Why would you only focus on one thing?
Sorry, it's just she's like crying and she's mad at something. I cannot continue. No, well, yeah, planting trees is the project that concentrates on demining, that helps to demine this. We need to kind of push it, but we just don't have enough resources, because all the money that, like, for example, we were making out of trees, we were just give for demining and not for the development of the project itself. So it's kind of hard to pull. The more popular we make the project, of course, the more money we get. But it's just those money so little. Like, you think, do we put it in a marketing or do we put it into the robot? And of course, we chosen the robot one time. Maybe we will do some collaborations this year with some companies, so to save on marketing and still bring the revenue in. So we can get more robots and more trees planted, meaning more robots. Let's see.
It's exciting. What's your timeline for the robot?
Well, it's already passed. The deadline is passed, because they warned me that they were supposed to do it by end of July, but it's like almost end of August yet. It's already ready. It's just security services. Somebody has to come there and take it, test it. It's just because they had a lot of outages on electricity. They had to. That's why they were late.
Okay, that makes sense. Wow, that's a really cool update. I'm excited to hear more as that progresses.
We're excited too. Like, once they showed me the first time, like the works and it moves around and does things, we were like, wow. So all those sleepless nights, and sacrificing time with kids, like it did significantly made something anyway. It was contributed to the right thing.
Yeah. That's fascinating and wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Evelyn, how are you? It's been a while as well for you.
Well, and I'm absolutely fascinated hearing the challenges and the enthusiasm that pushes all these projects to completion.
Yeah. I would agree with you there for sure. Thank you for being here. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
Dimitri, how are you? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. I'm okay, thank you. Glad to see all of you. About some news since I've been here last time, we continue to support volunteers with logistic and the warehouse services in Poland and delivery of humanitarian aid to the different destinations of Ukraine. Regretfully, the flow of humanitarian aid has decreased recently.
Yeah.
And I would like to say one more time, thank you to all of you that you are still standing on this road. About request we got from some volunteers organization, people asking for, not people, for second-hand used medical equipment. We used to have a few shipments from Poland to Ukraine with hospital beds, because the most important now quantity of places for our military guys is for civilians as well, because here a huge lack of facilities and hospitals, so second-hand can be also help a lot.
Sure.
If there are any options, please let us know.
Okay.
We have someone in Ukraine who badly needs it. And,
okay.
That's it for now. And Oksana, I'm also in Warsaw. If anything I can help with logistic or custom, feel free to contact me.
That's awesome. What have we connected you with Matter about the hospital beds or used equipment or anything? Have you talked to Vicky before?
No.
Okay. I'll do that. Sometimes they always have mixed medical supplies available, but sometimes she is able to get like requested items like beds or
Uh-huh.
things like that. So I'll connect you with her to see if there's anything that you.
Yeah, super. We have one of an old friend of mine. He lives in German, in Munich area, and what he's doing, he is looking for a hospital who renew their equipment.
Yeah.
And he okay, make things official, like and it's not for sale, but just to be okay, let's say utilized, right, for hospital. It can be solution.
Right. Okay.
Make like, donation or something.
And what supplies is it currently medical supplies that you've been delivering and helping move from place to place? Is it medical supplies or is it other things too?
Yeah, some medical equipment. I don't remember which one, but for sure not X-ray or something like that. But some similars. There was kind of cleaning machines, and so even on this level, and for sure second-hand used hospital beds.
Okay.
That's in demand because if we're talking about Kiev or some other big cities, situation there are more or less okay. But if we're talking about local cities and hospitals there, they badly need it actually. All that we can, all we can deliver or supply them.
Okay.
They will accept everything. Yeah.
Evelyn?
Christy?
Yeah.
Could I have Dimitri's email address? I just thought of someone in Texas that I'd like to contact.
Perfect.
Yeah, sure. I will send right now in chat.
Okay.
Thank you.
And what areas are you working in delivering to mostly right now? I'm not remembering off the top of my head.
Excuse me.
What areas have you been mostly delivering to?
Zaporozhye.
Okay.
Zaporozhye. It's close to front line. Zaporozhye and Kharkov now.
Okay.
They are also under bombing very often because we're close to front line, about 30, no more than 30 kilometers. And so, okay, let's say 15 miles or something.
Okay. Wow.
And I would like also to say a bit, it was really interesting and listening Mr. Lee's story, because I used to be in fire brigade when I used to be in Moscow in the Soviet Union.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long time ago for sure, but yeah.
Fascinating. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know one of the things that you've mentioned and that we've talked about here is just that sometimes it feels like the world is not paying attention anymore. So, I hope you all saw the photos that I posted in the WhatsApp group from Munich and from Paris and from the Olympics. And it was just exciting to see the flag hanging outside the Liberation Museum in Paris and in the square, the Katzplatz in Munich, to see the Ukrainian flag flying there. So that was really encouraging. And so, it was a good reminder that it's still out there, that it's still happening, and that there are other people still paying attention to those headlines, and that the world, it hasn't completely moved on. So that was really, I was really excited to see that and share that with all of you too, to see those flags flying in the different places as well. So that was really cool. And to see that Ukraine had won medals in I'm a huge Olympics fan, if you can't tell. So it was fun to be there and see them having won medals. And I was hoping to get over to their house to meet some of the people, but I didn't have a chance to do that. But yeah, but can't imagine having to compete with all that they must be carrying just mentally and emotionally. So really amazing work. Okay, let's see. I think that I don't think I have any other updates. I don't know if any of you do or not. I know a couple people had already emailed me and told me they would have to watch the replay. They couldn't be here today. So, of course, we'll catch everyone up on the next one as well. And via email, keep the connections going and the conversations and the aid flowing. But yeah, before we hang up, is there anything anybody else has?
Only that Ilya Kaminsky, who was head of the poetry program at Georgia Tech, is from Ukraine, and he's written different collections of poetry, and he is constantly providing a link to how we can help poets in Ukraine.
Very cool. Will you send me a link or something about that, and I'll put it in the next email?
I shall.
Okay.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah, of course. Always happy to share good and helpful information. Well, thank you all so much for your time, for everything you're doing. It's always good to hear updates personally from everybody and what's going on, and always exciting to hear what's happening and some good stuff ahead. So thank you for all your hard work. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you all.
From time to time, we get touch base together. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for pulling us together. Dimitra, I'm going to send you an email after we hang up because I had a request through another source of sending we're getting ready to send 250 sets of fire protection gear to Zaporozhye. Okay. And so I'll help coordinate with that with you on that. And then we'll also add, we'll fill up the rest of the container with medical supply. So there seems to be a high demand in Zaporozhye. And so if we can keep that supply going, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Be safe, everyone.
Yes.
Good
All
seeing
right.
you all.
Have a good week ahead.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.